if we are talking about the drafting, this is one of the area, drafting the policy, drafting some new initiatives in the country. What is your opinion? What should be the role of civil society? Probably the situation is a little bit different now in different countries, but I suppose that we all have pretty much similar intentions regarding to what kind of and what role of civil society we would like to see in our countries. So if we are talking about drafting, what should be the role of civil society? The civil society is not the homogeneous category, so it is very hard, to talk about okay, the whole civil society. It is related to the target groups. It is related to different processes and all of different aspects how you will perceive the role actually of civil society organizations. But in terms of how we can see our role and what we would like to see, sometimes we need that kind of vision just to be more clear what kind of action we would like to take towards the citizens and towards the government. That's the only reason why we are discussing this. We are complaining on cooperation between government and civil society and how the government treat us, and if they see us as a legitimate organization or whatever. On the other side, my question is who is giving the credibility to the civil society organizations? We are talking about the representation, that we represent the citizens, and I think, and I deeply believe that civil society organization exists to represent the other, to represent people. Otherwise, you will be like a group of people, sport organization or artistic or, whatever. But if you have, and again, it is not, that situation is not completely the same for the whole civil society sector. So, but who is giving that kind of representation and legitimacy to us? We said like a legal obligation for the civil society organization is to have like a legislation of the organization, statute, and this assembly usually, which should give us the credibility. Usually is in real situation, it's a little bit different. We are aware of that. Probably is not. And if we are submitting some kind of reports of our work, it is usually for just for this upravni odbor, management board, or it is not to the citizens usually. So, and this is one of the factor which creates kind of untrustedness between citizens sometimes and NGOs, or between the government and NGOs. In the drafting processes, the role of civil society organization might be also to react on what is in the draft. So this is also like to monitor what they put in a draft, and if it is not okay, so your inputs might not be from the expert position, but if you have some kind of insight of the need for the needs or processes related to this group that you are representing, that's the area that you can react. Or in general, if you are noticing, of course, that some kind of human violations are present, or it is not kind of realistic, motivated for the people, or whatever, But when we are talking about the drafting, and I will say like agenda setting and drafting, the similar role of civil society organization might be, just to be involved in the participation groups, to initiate sometimes the writing of some policy documents if you are aware that some problematic issues in your countries are on the agenda. You can initiate it. If you are starting to be involved, sometimes your input will be, as we said, like to provide input on the document that somebody else drafted. role of civil society organization in that area is also to try to establish some kind of visibility mechanisms and transparency in degree that you can for your constituency, to give them opportunity to be involved in some consultation processes and to organize that kind of intermediate activities between the government and decision makers and the citizens. Also to provide, access to the documents, maybe more to lobby again in the country for that kind of opportunity for you. This is might be like a precondition more than your direct involvement in that, as well as equal opportunities, just to force and just to actually lobby for equal opportunities for civil society in these processes. As you mentioned, if you want to influence public awareness related to some questions, in that terms, role of civil society is again to be the agent of the change in your country. And then, if some kind of legislation or document or strategy can promote the ideas that you are thinking that it's important for the whole society, that's your role in that terms. Just to influence that the right messages are in the document. That's how you are trying to connect actually the interest of your group with the kind of policy documents and development. We are talking about the level of drafting the policy, for example, documents, and the role of civil society in influencing the official legitimacy or policy in the country and everything else. If we are talking about that, and we are complaining a lot as NGOs that our voice is not incorporated, that government don't want to listen to us, that we have the knowledge and skills and they don't have it, but they neglect our whatever. If we are talking about that kind of settings, I completely agree that we are not always so that ambitious, that we don't want all the time to influence. We just want sometimes to organize creative workshops with the children, and that's absolutely fine, that kind of whatever, some nice and creative activities, and not to be in the position to influence anything on the local or national level. And that's the one level of implementation of different activities that we are providing and that kind of stuff. But if we are wanting to influence something, this question of credibility, I think that the mostly one part of credibility is the expertise that we have. The other part of credibility is not to be like okay, we represent everybody. We represent whole the local community or whole the society. It is really, I think, important for organization to be aware which kind of population we represent, and to try to involve their voice, to help them, and together with 20 people, 25, 100 people, never mind, this is not, but just to be aware of who you want to represent, and to ensure that their voice is incorporated in some kind of decision making. So that's only situation like when we are talking about the drafting documents and how the civil society organization can involve and can represent actually their population that or their group of people that they are working. If you are partners, you will have a conflict of interests. If you monitor if you are partner, you will make some decision together. If you make some decision together with your partners, it won't be possible. It will be great to do like a kind of self-monitoring or self-evaluation, but to have like a completely like a objective. And this is amazing, this is always like a circle of different questions. But I always think that it is not necessary to to start from that position, because we are all like but always it's and I think that that's kind of unclearness sometimes of what civil society organizations are dealing with, creating the whole story of influences of the civil society, which I mean that it is really like okay, it is not necessary for and the situation with the whole civil society sector is not the same, and we need to be aware of this. But we are starting from the point, and when we discuss the context of local, our local context, for example, we started from that we don't have a good cooperation with the government, that they are not listening to us, we don't have a space for influencing, we don't have a space for monitoring, we don't have this, and we don't, government don't inform us very well, you know, that kind of, so, and then, of course, we are always coming back in that what is the purpose of the civil society organizations and how we can organize our work and how we can deal with all of these crucial questions.